Alright, hello everybody. This is Fred, or um, so right now I'm actually going over some of this old footage that I'm going to be editing, and from what you can see is just like a lot of alpha. Oh man, I every time I look at this, I it just kind of hurts. So it just amazes me how far I've gone with this game. But I just want to really show y'all from the beginning when this game basically just came from the early concept of just being a high school, or not a high school, it's a college project. But I'll be doing some voiceovers on some portions of these videos that have no audio. It's just me literally just going through a lot of the footage, going through the game, some uh, basic stuff that I used to do, and it it's just appalling. Like I said, it's just crazy. Just re-looking at this footage, it's crazy. But I want y'all to see this, and I do hope that this game does get some love for that. I've worked really hard on it, and I just really want it to be just a good solid game. And from here, I'm just gonna kind of walk out through it. I'm guessing this is when I was doing a lot of the items early game. It's a totally different route now, completely different. It was when I was using, I think, 2016 Unity, and using basically some basic art assets, and I was using Anima 2D at the time for a lot of the movement, which included the package, which is now obsolete in my current project, which I'll be glad to show y'all maybe one day. But just kind of taking a step back and just, like I said, re-looking at it, just showing y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead, just kind of see what I'm looking at. And I fast forwarded to 6 minutes, and it looks like I'm incorporating some enemies in the game. Not too sure what I'm doing here. From what I remember, this was my debug level where I tested a lot of the scripts, tested a lot of the enemies, some basic concepts of damage blocks, healing items. I had no idea how to program at the time. Like I was just learning on the go through numerous YouTube tutorials, and also people that I was subscribed to. And yeah, just looking at the basic, oh my god, just that, and the animation is kind of crazy. They're not even moving, they're just kind of going left and right. You can see I have that spore enemy just shooting out spores. Kind of like slows down. I have a lot of errors going off, but it's kind of cute how Kairo was very small. I feel like he had more expression than he does now, which I gotta fix that shit. But other than that, yeah. Alright, and I'm gonna be going over some of the Adobe Animate part. Just kind of like piggybacking off of the previous footage. I've kind of sped this up so that way I can go ahead and just cover as much ground in as little time as I can just for this devlog. I have little experience drawing, so please don't kind of bash me on that. This is basically me going over some storyboarding and potentially some cutscenes that I'm actually going to be doing for the game. So it's just very interesting. I have my swatches on the left. It's gonna have this shadowy figure sort of like entering the room, and yeah, that's just kind of like the gist of it pretty much. In this part, I'm actually animating sort of a door. I know, please, like I said, please be patient with my art style and drawing. But in this part, basically doing some simple animations, just kind of just getting as far as what I picture on paper, what I've drawn. I drew all of this on paper first, traditionally, and then I went ahead and basically just import all of this into Animate and just just went at it with my tablet. And in this part, it's basically this door that is sealed away, gets opened forcefully by that shadow figure that you saw in the previous clip. And right now I'm just trying to draw in the cracks, drawing all the little details that I can. I don't have much experience in Adobe Animate, like I said, but I'm just trying to figure out like what I'm doing in this moment of time years ago. But I think what I was doing is I was gonna actually make the cracks sort of animate with the door to the point where they actually scale up and look a little realistic, I guess, in that way. But this is footage that I potentially may put into the game. I'm currently working on it. Haven't touched a lot of this area as I've been doing a lot of programming, but that being said, a lot of my work is done in Animate, and trying to picture the perfect the story that I have written out in my head and on paper, just trying to bring it to life through this program. So it's been quite an experience. And then, yep, there's the shadow figure entering the room. So in this part, going back to the game, it's actually one of the first main bosses of my video game. It's sped up so that we can kind of see some of the simple basic animations I've been working on. All of the stuff is done in Unity. You can see a lot of the code I've used. In this case, I do a lot of scripted battles where it's just a lot of the graphics that I use, especially for the sprites for the bosses, are all scripted and animated. You can see it's tied to different game objects. This scene has gone through such a drastic change. Drastically. This is not what it looks like at all, but it's just, just good to show you and everybody where I started from, where I started to learn how to program better and be a better artist and be a better programmer, and just developing really something and bringing it to life. And in this part is a lot of the battle sequence. I think that's the very end of it. Goes into this other room, and there you see like the second form of the boss. He said all of this artwork is pretty old. Have a lot of missing animations and textures here and there. Moving a lot of little snippets of the base arena and just kind of where the battle's going to take place. A lot of the attacks are off on the side. And what I had here, if you see those two characters, the two same models, basically how I did it back then, I had an intro character and then I had the actual boss game object right on top of it. Right now, I don't have that. I found a much better way to go ahead and make everything run much smoother, but this is kind of just the outdated form. But yeah, appreciate you all watching and stay tuned for more.